Who can forget the time Michael Schumacher turned a high-stakes race into a demolition derby? Or when this team cheated and started the biggest scandal in F1 history? Cheating in Formula One isn't just about bending the rules. It can get pretty crazy with careers and championships on the line. These are the biggest cheating scandals in Formula One history. First up at number 10, Nigel Stepney's court sentence. Following the Spygate scandal, Stepney faced serious legal consequences. He was sentenced to 1 year and 8 months in prison for sabotage, industrial espionage, sporting fraud, and attempted serious injury. The court found that Stepney had tried to sabotage one of Ferrari's cars by placing a mysterious powder in the fuel tank, which could have caused serious damage or injury. Stepney was also labeled persona non grata by the FIA, meaning teams were warned not to hire him without conducting extensive background checks. His actions not only led to one of the biggest scandals in F1 history, but also ruined his career and reputation in the sport. Number 9. Newey leaving in 2006. Adrian Newey, one of the most successful designers in F1 history, left McLaren for Red Bull in 2006. Newey's innovative designs had helped McLaren win multiple championships, and his departure was a significant blow to the team. McLaren struggled to stay competitive without Newey's expertise, highlighting the importance of key personnel in a team's success. Newey's move to Red Bull proved to be a masterstroke, as he helped transform the team into a dominant force in the early 2010s, winning 4 consecutive Constructors and Drivers' Championships from 2010 to 2013. This incident underscores how critical the right technical leadership is in F1, and how a single departure can shift the balance of power in the sport. Number 8. Deliberate crashes by Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher, one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, was involved in several controversial incidents. In 1994, Schumacher collided with Damon Hill at the Adelaide Grand Prix, effectively securing his first world championship. The collision was seen as deliberate, as Schumacher's car was damaged and he needed Hill to be out of the race to win the title. In 1997, Schumacher attempted a similar move on Jacques Villeneuve at Jerez. As Villeneuve moved to overtake, Schumacher turned into him, but this time Schumacher ended up in the gravel while Villeneuve went on to win the championship. He was rightfully disqualified from the entire 1997 season. In 2006, during qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix, Schumacher parked his car at Rascasse, blocking the track and preventing other drivers from setting faster lap times. He claimed it was an accident, but the FIA believed it was a deliberate tactic, and Schumacher was demoted to the back of the grid. These incidents tarnished Schumacher's legacy and showed the lengths he would go to win. But other times, it wasn't just about deliberate crashing or spying. It's also some rivalry moments that can get way out of hand, like this next one did. Number 7. Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton conflict in 2007. The 2007 season was not only marked by Spygate, but also by the intense rivalry between Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton by McLaren. Alonso, a 2-time world champion, joined McLaren expecting to be the number 1 driver. But rookie sensation Lewis Hamilton quickly matched Alonso's pace and competitiveness, leading to friction within the team. The tension peaked at the Hungarian Grand Prix when Alonso deliberately delayed Hamilton in the pit lane during qualifying, costing Hamilton a chance at pole position. Alonso received a 5-place grid penalty, and the internal conflict further fueled the Spygate scandal. Alonso threatened to expose incriminating emails unless he was given preferential treatment. This showed the intense rivalry and internal politics that can exist within a team, making the 2007 season one of the most dramatic in F1 history. You know that scandal we mentioned earlier? Well, it turns out others were involved in it too. Number 6. Renault's involvement in Spygate in 2007. The Spygate scandal didn't just involve McLaren and Ferrari. In December 2007, McLaren accused Renault of possessing sensitive information about their 2007 car. Renault was found to have confidential data from McLaren, which had been shared by a former McLaren employee who joined Renault. But unlike McLaren, Renault escaped penalties despite being found in breach of the sporting code. This incident showed how widespread spying and information theft could be in F1, with multiple teams involved in unethical practices to gain an advantage. Team orders have always been a controversial topic in F1, and this next one is the best example of that. Number 5. Team orders Ferrari 2010 German GP. Felipe Massa was leading the race when his race engineer, Rob Smedley, gave him a coded message. "Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood the message?" Massa reluctantly allowed his teammate Fernando Alonso to pass and win the race. The incident sparked outrage among fans and pundits, as team orders were technically banned at the time. Ferrari was fined $100,000 for violating sporting regulations, and the incident led to the FIA lifting the ban on team orders the following year. This race highlighted the often murky tactics teams use to favor one driver over another, sparking debates about the ethics of team orders in F1. It looks like 2007 was quite an eventful year for Formula One, because this next incident also happened during it. Number 4. 2007 Chinese Grand Prix. The 2007 Chinese Grand Prix was a pivotal moment in the championship battle between Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Kimi Räikkönen. Hamilton was leading the race and the championship standings, but a series of strategic mistakes by McLaren saw him fall behind. As rain began to fall, Hamilton's tires deteriorated, and he ended up stuck in the gravel trap, losing valuable points. Räikkönen seized the opportunity and won the race, while Alonso finished second, setting up a thrilling three-way fight for the title in the final race in Brazil. This race showed the fine margins and strategic complexities of F1, where a single mistake can dramatically alter the championship landscape. But teams can go pretty far to get an advantage in the sport. Number 3. Running underweight by Tyrrell 1984. In 1984, the Tyrrell team was found guilty of running their cars underweight by using a mixture of water and lead shot to make up the weight during post-race inspections. Tyrrell's cars would start the race underweight and then top up with the mixture during pit stops, ensuring they met the minimum weight requirement only after the race. The FIA caught on to the tactic, and Tyrrell was disqualified from the entire 1984 season, with all their results expunged. This scandal showed the lengths teams would go to circumvent regulations and the constant cat-and-mouse game between teams and the FIA to enforce the rules. Remember how we mentioned Nigel Stepney earlier? Well, things got pretty bad for him after what he did in 2007. Number 2. The 2007 Spygate Scandal. It started when Nigel Stepney, a Ferrari employee, stole 780 pages of sensitive Ferrari documents. These documents included schematic drawings, technical reports, and financial information about Ferrari's 2007 car. Stepney gave these documents to Mike Coughlin, McLaren's lead designer. The plan fell apart when Coughlin's wife, Trudy, was caught at a photocopy shop copying the documents. A Ferrari fan recognized the prancing horse emblem on the documents and alerted Ferrari. The investigation revealed that McLaren had access to Ferrari's confidential information. As a result, McLaren was fined a record $100 million and disqualified from the Constructors' Championship, although their drivers were allowed to continue competing. This scandal shocked the F1 world and showed the lengths teams would go to gain an edge over their rivals. Finally, at number 1, Nigel Stepney's death in 2014. On May 2, 2014, Nigel Stepney, the man at the heart of the Spygate scandal, tragically took his own life. Stepney walked onto the M20 highway in Kent and into the path of an oncoming lorry. His death was ruled an open verdict by the medical examiner, leaving many questions unanswered. Stepney had been Ferrari's chief engineer for 14 years and played a crucial role in their dominance during the early 2000s. But his involvement in Spygate and subsequent fallout may have contributed to his tragic end. Stepney's death marked a somber chapter in the saga of F1's biggest cheating scandal. From stolen documents to deliberate crashes and internal team conflicts, These cheating scandals have left a lasting mark on Formula One. They serve as a reminder of the intense pressure and high stakes involved in the sport, where the quest for victory can sometimes lead to unethical practices. If you enjoyed this deep dive into F1's darker moments, make sure to click on the next video for more content like this.